Hardware versus software. In this lesson, we are going to look at what hardware and software are and the different types of software. In this lesson, we are going to define the terms hardware and software, distinguish between the different types of software, and evaluate your knowledge of hardware and software. We're going to start by defining the terms hardware and software. Now, hardware are the physical components of the computer system. You can touch them. The word for that is tangible. Now, we've already looked at quite a lot of these components already in the previous lessons. They're made up of the components inside the computer, so the internal parts, things like the CPU, motherboard, hard drive, and the external parts of the computer, like the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, all of which, whether they are inside the computer or outside, can all be touched. Software, on the other hand, are the sets of programs run by the computer system. These cannot be touched, which makes them intangible. Examples of these are operating system software. Now, these control the hardware and let the user interact with the computer. There could be application software, and this is like the software that does the jobs, what we call the apps. And finally, utility software, and this is software that helps manage the computer's resources. We're now going to distinguish between the different types of software. Starting with operating system software. Now, this software allows you to interact with your computer. It needs to control the following to allow you to do this. So those are our input, output and storage devices, the user interface, that's what you can see in front of you, and how other software runs. Now, some examples of these operating systems. So the one that you will use most commonly on a computer would be perhaps Windows software, something like Windows 10. You've got Mac OS for Apple Mac computers, iOS for anybody that has an Apple iPhone, Android software, obviously for other mobile phones and tablet devices, and Linux, probably the one you're least likely to use, but is one that's been in use for quite a long time. Moving on to application software. Now, these are the software that does the jobs, okay? Now, they're split into two categories. These are general purpose and special purpose. And these are some examples of both of these. So general purpose, things like spreadsheet software, where you can use it for several different purposes. Word processor and web browsers. Obviously, any of those can be used for different purposes. Whereas special purpose software is only really used for one specific purpose. So a flight simulator software for a particular plane would only teach you how to fly that one plane. Payroll software would only help you to pay your members of staff and do nothing else, etc. And then you've got utility software. Now, this is the system software designed to help analyse, configure, optimise or maintain a computer. It's what looks after the running of your computer and makes sure that everything stays as it should be. So examples of these might be antivirus, which obviously protects your computer from viruses, backup software, which takes a copy of all of your files so that you don't lose them, etc, etc. There's lots more there. Clipboard manager, disk checker, disk defragmenter, file manager, etc. You can look those up yourself if you want to learn more about what they do. But all of them will be working in the background looking after your computer. We're now going to evaluate your knowledge of hardware and software. And we're going to do this by completing some tasks. Now, with these tasks, you need to start at the developing level and work your way up to mastered level, completing as many of the tasks as you can on the way. Now, developing level, there is a Google quiz called Hardware and Software that you can complete. Once completed, you must take a picture of your score for uploading. For secure level, there is a quiz called Hardware versus Software, and then you'll find this link on Class Charts. And again, Take a picture of your score and upload to ClassCharts. Finally, there's a mastered level, and this is where there is a software crossword for you to complete. And again, once you've finished, take a picture or a screenshot for your uploading to ClassCharts. Small note with the crossword, if you do make a mistake, it will tell you the right answer straight away. So you won't get a second chance. So make sure you know exactly what you are writing before you submit it. So to finish, to complete this lesson, there are 3 things that you will need to upload, and that is a screenshot for each of the following tasks: developing, secure and mastered. If you can, have a go at each of them and upload when you've done them.